What would you do if someone slapped your child and your own parents told you it was your fault? If this hits close to home, like, share, and comment where you're watching from. This story isn't just about family. It's about the silence that hurts more than the slap. My name is Camille, and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. And until that afternoon, I never truly understood how deep denial could run in a family. It was supposed to be a simple Saturday lunch grilled chicken, lemonade, laughter echoing in the backyard. My daughter, Mia, was twirling barefoot in the grass with her cousins, her little yellow sundress fluttering as she danced. She's only 6 full of questions, always curious, always excited to be part of things. The adults were seated under the gazebo, sipping wine and catching up. My sister, Lauren, of course, was holding court again. Loud, dramatic, everything about her had to be centre stage. She was in the middle of one of her incredible New York stories, something about being mistaken for a celebrity outside some boutique in Soho. I saw Mia pause her twirling and skip over, wide-eyed. "Mummy, guess what I saw?" She didn't get to finish. Lauren's palm cracked across her tiny cheek with a sound that silenced the entire yard. My heart stopped. I was frozen for a second. Then I dropped my glass and ran. Mia had fallen backward onto the grass, one hand on her face, confused more than anything. "What is wrong with you?" I screamed. Lauren didn't even flinch. She folded her arms and rolled her eyes. "She interrupted me while I was speaking," she said, as if that justified everything. "You need to teach her respect." My hands were shaking. "She's 6, Lauren. 6. "She's rude," Lauren shot back. "You let her act like she runs the place." Mia had crawled toward me by then, tears streaking her little cheeks. I held her close, feeling her chest rise and fall in scared gasps. And that's when my dad stood up. Not to check on Mia, not to reprimand Lauren. He turned to me. "You didn't have to make a scene," he snapped. "Lauren was trying to talk, and you always let Mia interrupt." My mother didn't say anything. She just shook her head like I'd failed as a parent. I looked at them parents and all I saw was the same old pattern. Lauren acts out. They defend. I speak up. I get blamed. I stood up slowly, holding Mia in my arms. "She's a child," I said, "and you're enabling abuse." My father opened his mouth, but I didn't let him speak. "Don't, just don't." I looked at Lauren one last time. She smirked, like she'd won, like she was proud. But I wasn't going to give her another show. I turned around and walked out of that backyard. And I didn't look back. I didn't care about their name anymore. I didn't care about saving face, or keeping it in the family, like they always said when Lauren did something awful. I cared about my daughter. The attorney's expression didn't change as she flipped through the photos Mia's swollen cheek, the stills from the video I'd captured of her crying into my shoulder in the grass, Lauren's cold face behind us. She glanced at me. "You have a strong case, especially if we frame it around child endangerment and emotional trauma." That word, trauma, sat in my chest like a rock, because that's what it was. This wasn't just a slap. It was the slap that cracked something open. For Mia, for me. And the more I pulled back the layers, the more I realized this family never protected me. And now they weren't protecting my child either. I'd let so many things go over the years. My scholarship being mocked, my wins being ignored, my boundaries stomped over. But now they were stomping on my little girl's spirit too. And I wasn't going to be silent anymore. That night, I posted a message to my close friends group chat. "Something happened. I need you all to know in case things go public. Mia's okay now, but Lauren crossed a line and I'm taking legal steps." The replies came in like a wave. "She what?" "Camille, I'm so sorry. Do you need us? Do you want us to testify?" Even friends who'd known Lauren from childhood messaged me privately with stories. Stories that matched my own. Stories that made me realize Lauren hadn't just slapped Mia. She had left a trail. And I was finally picking it up. She stepped back, like I'd slapped her. Her voice cracked. "Camille, you're blowing this out of proportion. We're family." I didn't blink. "Exactly," I said. "And family shouldn't leave bruises. Family doesn't protect the person who causes the harm while ignoring the child who was harmed." Lauren tried to gather herself, smoothing her hair with trembling fingers. "You think you're a saint now? You think this makes you a better person?" I looked at Mia. She hadn't moved. Her small hands were balled into fists at her side, lips pressed into a line, but I could see it the way her shoulders had lifted, just slightly. The way she stood straighter now that I wasn't backing down. I turned back to her. "No, I'm not a saint. I'm a mother, and for once, I'm choosing my child over this fake idea of family we were raised to protect." Lauren didn't speak again. She just stood there, frozen, like she finally realized this wasn't going away with a tearful post or a carefully worded caption. I shut the door. Behind it, Mia walked over to me and reached up to take my hand. She didn't say anything either, but I felt it in that moment. She finally knew that someone would fight for him. The judge's eyes rested on me for a long moment. She didn't speak right away. Instead, she turned slowly to Lauren, who was shifting uncomfortably in her seat for the first time that morning. Her confident smirk was gone. She sat stiff, her lawyer whispering urgently in her ear, but Lauren just stared straight ahead, jaw clenched. The judge finally spoke. "Miss Whitmore," she said, her voice calm but strong. "What I've heard today is deeply troubling. This court does not take allegations involving a child lightly, and what's more, the evidence presented, both visual and audio, supports the claims made against you." My heart was pounding. Mia's small fingers tightened around mine. Lauren's eyes flickered toward us just once. The judge continued, "This is not a matter of a minor family disagreement. This is a matter of a child's physical and emotional safety, and the court finds grounds to move forward with a formal restraining order. Effective immediately. The defendant is to have no contact with the child, direct or indirect." Lauren's lawyer opened his mouth, but the judge raised her hand. "I've made my decision." And just like that, it was done. Mia looked up at me again, eyes round and uncertain. "Can we go now?" she whispered. I bent down and hugged her tight. "Yes, baby. We're going home." As we walked out of the courtroom, I passed my parents without a glance. My mom whispered my name, but I didn't stop. Because for once, I wasn't just their daughter. I was Mia's protector. And I wasn't going to apologize for that anymore. Because you watched her hurt my daughter, and you did nothing. She flinched, like my words slapped harder than Lauren ever could. "I didn't destroy anything," I continued. "I protected what matters. I protected her. Something you should have done from the start." She wiped her eyes with the sleeve of her blazer, mascara already smudging beneath her lashes. "But we're your parents. We raised you." I nodded slowly. "Yes, and now I'm raising Mia to know better." Then I walked away. Mia was waiting in the car, coloring in the back seat, like nothing in the world could touch him anymore. When I opened the door, she looked up with that small, gentle smile of hers. "Did they go away now?" he asked. I sat in the passenger seat and turned to face her fully. "They won't be bothering us again." She nodded and went back to coloring. Her little hand was steady, her eyes focused, calm. That's when I realized something. This wasn't just about winning a case. It wasn't about revenge or even justice. It was about breaking a cycle. I had grown up in a family where silence was called strength and image was everything, where apologies never came and children learned early to shrink themselves for the sake of peace. But not Mia. Not my girl. She would never be told to be quiet when she was in pain. She would never be taught to excuse cruelty because it came from someone who shared her blood. And I would never again trade my child's safety for anyone's comfort, not even my own mother's. The wind blew gently that morning as we stood in front of the house, the same house where my mother once made Sunday pancakes and my father trimmed the hedges like they were national treasures. But it didn't feel like home anymore. Not for them. My parents stood on the porch with stunned faces, reading the lease termination notice over and over, like maybe if they blinked long enough, it would say something different. "It's you," my father finally said, voice low, almost broken. "You bought it?" I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I simply nodded. My mother clutched his arm, her voice shaking. "Where are we supposed to go?" I looked at them two people who had all the power when I was a little girl. Two people who defended image over innocence, who raised me to shrink and expected my daughter to do the same. Now they were the ones begging. "I don't know," I said, my tone steady. "Maybe now someone will pity you." And with that, I took Mia's hand. We walked away, not in anger, not in vengeance. In peace. A quiet, firm peace that only comes when you finally choose to protect your child, even if it means walking away from the people who made you. That day, Mia didn't ask if he was safe. She didn't ask if Lauren would come back, or if Nana and Papa still thought she was rude. She just squeezed my hand and said, "I like our new house." And that was all I needed to hear. We started over not with noise, but with silence that didn't hurt. And in that silence, we found everything we'd been missing. If you've ever had to stand alone to protect someone you love, if you've ever been called dramatic for speaking the truth, or if you've ever walked away from toxic family for the sake of your child's peace, then this story is for you. Please like, share, and comment below where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful real-life stories that remind us, peace is louder than pain.